So, if you don't know, Super Mario World was my first game. I was a wee baby. There's the very literal thing that Super Mario World is, which is a game made with a bunch of assets and sprites and sound files and song. When I was but a child, in an age where I wasn't using the internet, the only thing I could make of the game was my experience with it. Now, and I struggled. Super Mario World can be challenging for but a child. But a child. Like, the songs for each level, I wasn't thinking of them as like a song that somebody composed and put into this level. To me, this was just the sound I hear when I'm struggling to get through a difficult level, to avoid a bunch of enemies, and to just become good, just to get good. Um, so, part one, Super Mario World is Super Mario World. The world that you're playing on is a whole world. You travel across several continents. You can then imagine it as a planet, a world, represented in little dots and lines and islands and waypoints and everything. As you cross the world map, every time you clear a chunk of the world map, the line fills in, and it for me it was really interesting to see how the mini map draws just such a literal, like, that's the ground I just traversed in the level, that but like zoomed out so that it's on a map now, and I don't know, that's a basic thing. Mario World didn't invent mini maps, but you love to see it. You love cute, bright, cartoon overworld mini maps. The whole game is just so colorful and bright. This game being my first encounter that formed lasting memories of how long it took me to get past like the first world. That, like, for this to be my uphill journey into becoming like base competent at video games. It was a hell of a ride. And I'm just gonna talk about. Oh yeah. So, 10 years ago, I wrote a video that I wanted to make. 10 years ago, when I was 17. It turns out I still have the idea paper about this video. I don't know why I have an idea. I don't know why I drew. I don't know. This isn't common. This isn't usual for me, but here it is. Well, hold on. I'll get that flipped on there. I know you can't read like any of it. Don't worry about it. Go ahead and pause the video if you just want like an overview of the video. Part 2, the evolution. Super Mario World introduces dinosaurs into Mario canon. It introduces Yoshi, baby Yoshi. We love this guy. Can fit so many eggs in this boy. This says about as much about me as I could want to say with a shirt, I guess. No women on it, though. Unless... I don't have anything to say about the dinosaur thing, but I'm just putting it out there. Now, every time Mario dies, a life ends. That's what they are. They're lives. It's Mario's life. It ends. You lose a life. You have to start over with a new life. The next life, inheriting all the knowledge from the previous life. So that's like, just instantly gets to improve on itself as you mutate your strategy. Part 3, the rest of the video. I like the use of the dotted line blocks. It's one of you encounter this on the very first island, that there are lots of blocks in the game. So there's a lot of blocks in Super Mario World. Very grid-like game, yellow dotted outline, and you can't interact with it. It's just there, and shortly after you can find the yellow switch palace, on which you press a big yellow button, and it sends yellow exclamation point blocks all across the world, filling in all the dotted outlines. Now you can walk across them, use them as platforms. You can jump into them to get a mushroom out of them. They come with power-ups too. And you feel a sense that you're responsible for these blocks being here because you pushed the button that brought them into the game. Which I want to point out, like, how did all the rest of the blocks get in the game in the first place? Developers just pushing buttons. So I feel like this is just like, can be read as just a very childlike way to participate in the act of making the game. Part 4, The Beast Within. So, Super Mario World, like a planet, like a world, we're familiar with this. Playing the game through to just following along the normal route, you eventually travel deep into the earth. So you got that orb and you go into it, and what you find in there is fire and lava and a castle built bigger than all of the other castles, with a giant neon flashing sign with the name flashing on it, Bowser. So let's say you got the earth that you were traveling along, all the levels from continent to continent. You travel across all of the continents of Super Mario World, and by the end of it, and then you travel deep into a cavern, underneath the earth, inside of the earth, and what you can find going inward is the beast, and you defeat the beast. Super Mario World also presents another path to take after or before doing this, where you can find hidden exits to levels that lead to a star tile, a star statue, or something that when you walk to it on the mini-map and you select it, it doesn't take you down into the earth like the pipes do. It beams you up into the fucking sky to exploring the infinite cosmos. That's pretty exciting. I like that. It makes sense to me, because, like, what is a star? And, like, what is a star? It's the thing that planets revolve around. Super Mario World is already acknowledging the trajectory of, where you go from here is, outward. We put all the Mario lands together into a Mario world, and, next you just hold your breath waiting for Super Mario Galaxy. Like, that's just the feel. They threw a curveball at us with Super Mario Sunshine, but then they did Galaxy, so it's like, yeah, I see it. So you got World, Stars, Beyond World, and then you beat the star levels, and they take you somewhere else. A blank void of super special stages that take place somewhere that can't even be visually, like, represented. This sort of meta place, and beating these stages presents you with what changes. What does it show you? It shows many of the sprites that felt so a part of the world. The sprites for many of the enemies, the Koopas, the Galoombas, they got replaced with Mario. Some kind of mutated Mario head. A bunch of the sprites change. Many of them in Mario's own image. Their final reward for the secret stages, the hardest stages in the game. It asks you to imagine that this isn't. It asks you to participate further in in creating, in imagining, what if you had a hand in making this game? What would you have made the sprites look like? What would you have made the levels be? What would you have done? I really want to do a quick aside to point out that the music is also, you can feel this theme in the music, I swear, through how it's the same song and the same melody, like, literally, like, for almost all of the main level songs. Pretty much all of them, in some way, are a variation on this same melody. The game is all about these variations. The Yellow Switch Palace is just the first of 4 Switch Palaces of different colors, and you wonder, you're looking forward to finding the other color Switch Palaces. You see green outlines. You wonder what's going to happen when you hit those. And when you finally get the green Switch Palace, it's awesome. Those feathers that let you get a cape and fly come out of them. They're a double power-up. When you get hit with the cape, you return to just having a super mushroom, which is another hit before you die. And when you're bad at the game, this is like, you feel like this is what you have to do, and it's great because you help your future self so many times over when you press the green button and the other buttons in the game too, that almost unfortunately when you fill in the red and blue blocks, you can't hit them to get anything out of them. Nothing comes out, nothing happens. They're just for walking and jumping on, which is a bit of a letdown. But let's say it inspires you to imagine, what would you have put in these blocks if you were designing the game? I think that what I've said for the last few minutes, plus the fact that the game is so built for a level editing. It's on such a grid-like nature. The levels are separated into manageable chunks. And the technology and the timing with the internet, it just happened to work out that we would get Super Mario World ROM hacks as a continuing evolution of challenge, of how skilled the players are, how skilled the developers expect the players to be. There's not an upper cap to this, and to me the defining, I think, to history, the defining ROM hack for this was Kaizo Mario World. I think it translates to Asshole Mario. It is a cruelly difficult game that comes at you from the exact opposite direction of a traditional Super Mario World game, or even a Mario World ROM hack. Anything traditional about difficulty curves is thrown out the window. As soon as you enter the opening cutscene, it turns out you have to do a bunch of precise difficult things or else you're gonna die before you can even get past the opening cutscene. And it's relentless from there. The challenge that it asks of you, and your time is valuable, so I understand that when you're playing an emulated game in the first place, because you're likely not playing a ROM hack on hardware, unless you're like extremely sexy, you have access to save and load states, and this fact that this is built in. When you download a ROM hack to your emulator, the emulator's got the save state functionality. You've got this cheat at your fingertips, and if you spend 30 minutes losing to the same jump, you're not gaining anything by waiting for the excruciating seconds it takes for the death animation to play, for the level to load back up. At the very beginning, every time, no matter how many challenges you get past before the checkpoint, if you die, you have to start over. And then if you die a few times, you have to watch the game over screen, and you just don't have time for that. So at the start of the level, you make a save point, and you attempt the first challenge, and you die, 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 because it's fucking hard. And if you eventually get a little bit further than the first challenge, you can make a save state, and now you're playing from there. And and this doesn't ruin the experience, I don't think, because if this is what you need to do to play Kaizo Mario, do it. It's You're still overcoming challenges, even if it's bit by bit. Um, and future ROM hacks would delve into the game's code further to make these quality of life features built into the game, because they understood they're not designing something that they want players to get sick of, this repetitive thing over and over. They're trying to make super difficult platformer levels for you to play over and over and over as fast as possible, so they got rid of the lives feature, they got rid of the respawn, the death animation. It can go so far as to just the moment you touch something that would kill you, it just instantly transitions to you respawning. Just there you are, instant respawn. I love it. Back in the day, you had to use save states, and I think it's just makes sense that ROM hack creators did this as a further evolution of their skill into participating in programming and creating and mutating again. Like, it's so beautiful, and this isn't some intentional thing necessarily, but I love that the game. I really do believe it's got to some degree this theme about creating and participating and evolving. And you really see players take off with it, and it's beautiful and creative, and that was some of the happiest times of my childhood, just watching YouTubers play Mario World ROM hacks, because you get to enjoy just someone putting forth their personal creative effort in the form of a game, and then the person playing it gets to be charming and silly and do their best to interpret the game in good faith, so that everybody has a good time. Or if it's one of those screw the YouTuber levels that is ROM hacks that are like, then they might have a bit of an adversarial relationship with the ROM hack. Part 5. The next part. Oh, okay, I consulted the paper. Bonus fact I forgot to talk about that just... so there's the mushroom, the basic power-up of Super Mario World that just makes Mario big, and there are 2 variations of to the power-up system. You can upgrade in 2 directions. You can't get them both at the same time. You can get either the feather, which increases your ability to fly away from situations, and you get the fire flower, which increases your ability to fight. Talking about that fight or flight fucking dichotomy, baby, built right into the game. And there are dinosaurs. Need I say more? Not only is Super Mario World one of my favorite games, I'm intimately familiar with the joy of being a fan of Mario World ROM hacks when Mario Maker got announced, revealed, and released. It's beautiful. It facilitates real-time the evolution of design and challenge and skill and accomplishment with using the system, using just this one silly game engine. I lament it at times because it's this simpler, commodified version of something extremely punk that the community was doing by, making ROM hacks. It's just cooler. Cooler to make a ROM hack than a Mario Maker level, unfortunately. You can change anything. You can go deeper into it. You have a finer grain of control. But it's still extremely fun to me to see the just everything to do with Mario Maker, coming back to to deliver on what Mario World promised of being able to put your effort, your creativity into this world. Cool. I like that. I like encouraging creativity. Mario Maker is a great game. And that's what this video was about, actually, I guess. Yeah, I bet you thought I was from like 2007 or something because of the webcam quality. You thought I didn't know. You thought I didn't know about Mario Maker. Ah, no. It's 2019 right now. And I'm gonna release this video in 4 years, like all my other videos.
Teenagers scare the living out of me. They could care less as long as someone will bleed. So tuck in your clothes, I'll strike a violent pose. Maybe it'll leave you alone, but not me. The boys and girls in the clique, the awful names that the stick. You're never gonna fit in much, kid. But if you're troubled and hurt, what you got under your shirt will make them pay for the things that they did. They said, oh, teenagers scare the living out of me. They could care less as long as someone will bleed. So tuck in your clothes, I'll strike a violent pose. Maybe it'll leave you